Have you ever felt like your life isn't going the way you planned? Like no matter how hard you try, things just keep falling apart. Your mind won't stay calm. And your heart keeps asking, why is this happening to me? Today's story will open your eyes and make you see that sometimes what feels like an ending is actually the beginning of something greater. Stay till the end, because this story might just change the way you see life, faith, and destiny. Once upon a time, in a small mountain village, surrounded by tall pine trees and whispering winds, there lived a 25-year-old young man named Ethan Vale. Ethan was hardworking, kind-hearted, and intelligent, yet deeply restless. His mind was like a river in a storm, constantly flowing with thoughts that never seemed to stop. He often sat by his window at night, staring at the stars and thinking, why do I feel so lost? Why can't I find peace even when I have everything? Every morning he woke up tired. Every evening he went to bed with worries that never ended. When he thought about his past, regret filled his heart. When he imagined his future, fear clouded his mind. He was trapped, not by the world, but by his own thoughts. Days passed like this, each one heavier than the last. Until one day, Ethan heard from a traveler passing through the village about a wise old man who lived far away in the hills. People said this man, named Master Rowan, was once a famous psychologist in the city. He had spent his whole life helping others find peace, but when he grew old, he left everything behind and moved to a quiet mountain village to live close to nature. It was said that if you spoke to Master Rowan even once, your heart would never feel heavy again. For the first time in a long while, Ethan felt a spark of hope. He thought, maybe this wise man can help me silence the storm inside my mind. The journey to the mountain village was not easy. Ethan walked for days through winding roads, dense forests, and steep hills. He slept under the stars, drank from streams, and fought through rain and fatigue. But his determination pushed him forward. Finally, after 7 long days, he reached a small valley surrounded by golden fields and a river that sang softly under the afternoon sun. There, among the trees, stood a small wooden cottage covered in ivy. Birds chirped nearby, and a soft wind carried the scent of wildflowers. On the porch, sitting silently in meditation, was Master Rowan. His eyes were closed, his face calm and glowing with peace, like still water untouched by wind. Ethan walked slowly toward him and said softly, "Grandfather, my mind is never quiet. It feels like I am always fighting with my own thoughts. I cannot sleep. I cannot smile. Please, help me find peace." The old man slowly opened his eyes and looked at Ethan with kindness. His voice was soft and steady as he said, "So, you seek peace? Then, come with me, my child. I will give you a small task." He led Ethan to a small courtyard behind the cottage. There, he picked up a glass of water from a wooden table and filled it completely, right up to the edge. The glass shimmered under the sunlight. Then Master Rowan handed it to Ethan and said, "Take this glass. Walk to the edge of the village, and then return here. But remember one thing. Do not spill even a single drop of water." Ethan was surprised. "That's it?" he asked. The old man nodded gently. "Yes, that's all. And remember, focus only on the water." Ethan didn't fully understand, but he respected the old man, so he began his task. He walked carefully down the village path, holding the glass with both hands. The road was uneven, filled with people, carts, and noise. Children were laughing and playing on one side. Dogs barked. A woman was calling her husband from a house. The blacksmith's hammer echoed in the distance. But Ethan did not look anywhere. His eyes were fixed only on the glass. Every step he took was slow and mindful. He could feel his heart beat, the balance of his hands, the rhythm of his breathing. Minutes turned into an hour, and finally he reached the edge of the village and came back, without spilling even a single drop. When he reached Master Rowan again, he smiled proudly and said, "Grandfather, I did it. Not even a drop was spilled." The old man nodded and smiled faintly. Then he asked, "That's good, my child. But tell me, on your way, did you see the children playing?" Ethan shook his head. "No, grandfather." "Did you hear the birds singing?" "No, I didn't." "Did you notice how the sunlight touched the hills?" Ethan paused, realizing he hadn't seen or heard anything at all. He whispered, "No, I was only looking at the glass." Master Rowan smiled again and said, "And there lies your answer. The truth. When you were walking with that glass," the old man said gently, "your mind was completely in the present moment. You were not thinking about the past or the future. You were simply here. And that is peace. Peace doesn't come when life becomes easy. It comes when your mind stops wandering, when it stops living in yesterday's sorrow or tomorrow's fear. You were not sad, not worried, because you were focused on this moment alone." Ethan listened carefully, and something shifted inside him. He finally understood it was his thoughts, not the world, that had made him restless all these years. The peace he was searching for wasn't hidden in the mountains or in wise men. It was already within him, buried beneath endless thoughts. As the sun began to set, the sky turned golden, painting the valley with light. Birds flew home across the horizon. Ethan bowed deeply before Master Rowan and said softly, "Grandfather, now I understand. Peace is not found outside, it's created inside. When I live fully in this moment, everything becomes peaceful." The old man smiled, his eyes shining with calm wisdom. He said, "Yes, my child, the mind is like water. When it is still, it reflects the beauty of life clearly. But when it is disturbed, everything appears broken." Ethan looked at the sunset, and for the first time in years, his heart felt quiet. The wind, the birds, even his own breathing, Everything felt alive, peaceful, and beautiful. He began his journey home, but he was no longer the same restless young man who had arrived a few days ago. He walked slowly, smiling, feeling every step, every sound, every breath. He had finally learned that true peace isn't about escaping the noise of life. It's about finding silence within it. Peace is not something we chase. It's something we uncover. When we stop living in the noise of the past or the fear of the future and simply learn to be here, now.